So if you're new to this channel, my name is Ashley and I like to garden with science normally. Today's video, we're just going to do a garden tour. I'm in a zone 3, Canadian zone 3, which would be around a USD A4. It's not a direct linear movement, but rough guesstimate USD A4. And so I'm going to show you kind of where everything's at. It's pretty shocking compared to a lot of other garden YouTubers out there. So we'll take a look at what's going on and that sort of thing. So let's get into it. So one of the first things I started doing last year was actually changing my entire front yard into a garden, which I'm very excited for. So because of that, I have these two beds from last year. I have this one from last year as well. And then I also have this one that I put up yesterday. And yes, there's still snow on the ground. So inside of here, I did do some cabbage. These are cozy coats. So these are filled with water. I simply transplanted my cabbage into here with a little bit of mulch. I did put this one out yesterday and I didn't cover it just out of curiosity, but we'll see how that goes. And then I also have cabbage and onion planted in here as well. The soil temp was 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which you only need 45 to plant these guys out. And this is a self-watering bed, so I'm going to capitalize on using some hot water to actually maximize the results there. This, I do not know what I'm going to plant into it yet. I just set it up yesterday, so we shall see. This is the dreaded front bed. It's super hot, super dry. So I did a ton of garlic. This is all garlic I planted yesterday. That garlic that we vernalized, remember I was like, vernalize your garlic or whatever, in the fridge, that's the garlic that I planted there. Then I did some chives, and then I did my absolute all-time favorite perennial flower. I did more of them. They're those globe flowers. I'll insert a photo of them. They are so beautiful. So beautiful. Next up, I did do my low tunnel, but I did my low tunnel in an area that was previously it was crushed rock between two cement pads. Really couldn't do anything, but it does get a lot of sun. So I did build a bed on it last year. I wanted to show the process for it. It was for a sponsored video, but the sponsorship fell through. So then it was really awkward to post the video on how I made this, but regardless, I'll show you what it looks like. So last year, like I said, it had quite a bit of sun. So I did have tomatoes there and it did really well. This year, I'm gonna do onions there. And then I think I'm gonna do bush beans on the other half that doesn't have the cold frame. So check the temps there yesterday. Again, 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So with that tent on, it's gonna probably be 45 after today, the soil temp. And so I likely will put my onions in like very soon, like today type thing. And then I'll have to do some adjustments to the plants themselves. I will have to maybe heat them once or twice because it is showing some cooler temps sometimes, not all the time, just sometimes.
This is future Ashley judging past Ashley. -6 for 4 days in a row. Yes, that's right. This is some of the methods that I use to heat and keep everyone nice and warm. Was it worth it? Yes. I still believe it was completely worth it.
So we'll see. We'll see how that works out for us. But yeah, so let's go to the back where a lot of the exciting stuff is. So this I actually was kind of excited to show you guys. Remember how I set this up last year? Now this company, you should have a brace here. Like seriously, that's ridiculous, the bow on that, but regardless. So the bed itself, remember I did mostly leaves and then I did like soil. And I just put a layer of peat on to help it retain some moisture because I noticed it was really losing moisture quickly. And rehydrating soil is like an actual nightmare. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna have to go get some garden soil and actually top this bed up because the leaves did shrink down. So very normal for a new garden bed to do that, despite the fact that when you watch that video, I did like stomp onto this and really pack it down, but it just didn't work, or it didn't work the way I wanted it to. That is the garden socks. Everyone always was concerned that these would fall apart in the winter. They don't. They live just fine. So I'll actually be replanting those. I put starts into these. You could do seeds, but I find starts work best. Seeds I have a really hard time germinating. That pond very clearly needs to be cleaned out. Behind me, snow on my tomatoes still. Isn't that crazy? So this is my tomato patch and I am going to be changing this up entirely. Very clearly not ready for tomatoes if there's still snow frozen to the ground. I did leave the tomatoes in place to capture the actual snow. So I have to go through the process of removing those branches. And the best way to do this is not to actually pull them out of the ground and ruin all of that root formation that you normally would have. You should be clipping off at the top. Now, I have other plans for this 2 beds here, so unfortunately it's getting a total overhaul, but regardless I'm gonna have to remove those and start from scratch. But to remove them after the snow capture, you just cut them off at the base, leave the roots in place, and you should be good to go. So that's the tomatoes. Next part of the tour is this. So I do leave everything in place. Again, snow capture 101. So this here, I'm gonna do leafy greens mostly, so collards, kales, that sort of thing in this general region. Again, not enough sun, not much for sun. Cabbage did great here last year. My onions did not, so greens tend to be my best bet in this section. This is what the end result of that trellis looked like. And there was spaghetti squash on this last year with some lettuce inside. So again, left everything in place for snow capture. That is my way of deflecting critters from my lettuce. It works pretty darn good, but I'm gonna do squash on this. Either butternut, acorn, something to that effect is what's gonna be on this. It's gonna be a squash trellis this year. I guess last year it was too, because spaghetti squash, but regardless, that's what's going in place. Next up is the greenhouse tour, and there's nothing in there. It's actually because it's been way too cold to do anything yet, so I've just avoided it because I'd have to run the heater and it's just a little bit of a nightmare. And new project is actually capturing a little tiny bit of maple sap or maple syrup out of this Manitoba maple, which is proving to be less than fruitful. So stay tuned. But that's all I have for you guys on my Zone 3 tour of my garden. I hope this truly helps some of you understand that gardening in our cold climates doesn't look like gardening in California. This is very normal for mid-April for us. It just looks like garbage. It literally just looks like garbage. I'm gonna start the cleanup soon. Gonna let things hang out for a little bit. I don't throw my leaves out. I just kind of loosely put them in a leaf holder because there are, ladybugs and bugs in there. But I do like to clean it up, expose the soil. But I'll do a video on why that is here in a little bit. But yeah, that's my garden tour. Thanks for joining me. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.